32 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Jeff Koinange live here on Citizen Television. Joining me on the bench, ODM National Elections Board Chair Catherine Muma. She's in the house, as is Engineer Anthony Waura, the Chair, UDA National Elections Board. Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for coming. Real quick, let me ask you both this question. Why are your respective parties so worried about holding elections? Madam Chair, let's start with you. Why are you so worried? It seems like you're scared of holding nominations.
Are we?
It looks like it.
No.
Remember the first one in Nakuru that was delayed?
That was, we actually were ready to hold the elections. But as I said, we have zero tolerance for violence. So we could not proceed because of the attempted violence. But we proceeded to Kwale and Taita Taveta. And I'd like to thank the people of Kwale and Taita Taveta. We had peaceful elections. I think your teams may have been there. Mm-hmm. And we finished well. You haven't heard anything about people breaking each other's boxes or wherever it is. We finished, and we are moving on to the next. Tomorrow, we have Nyamira and Kisii. And even as we do so, our method number one on consensus is ongoing, even now. Teams are talking to try and negotiate. Please let go. We think so and so can deliver better. So consensus is ongoing. We'll keep going as our number one method. So even as we plan for Kisii and Nyamira tomorrow, if I'm told at midnight the aspirants for this particular seat have agreed, I will step them down and I'll move on to the next one. So we are not scared of elections. We are carrying them out, and we have a system that we tried for the first time in Kwale and Taita Taveta. Nakuru had the chance to have a fast go at it, but unfortunately it didn't happen there. Yeah. And it's happening. I think it's going well.
Yeah, Engineer, yours is just a one-day affair.
Ours will be just only one-day affair. Let me first of all start by saying thank you for inviting me here.
You're welcome.
We always see this bench from afar. And I thought that the fire extinguisher is so big.
It's on standby. It's on standby.
But I tend to believe that here today you are not going to use it.
Okay.
Jeff, we have never been scared of these nominations. We are seriously prepared. And even before, during the by-elections, we used to carry out nominations in our party. And even this time, we are carrying out these nominations in 128 constituencies around the country. And we are having nominations of 15 governors, 18 senators, 28 women reps, 128 members of parliament, and 843 ward representatives. It's a big thing. Yeah. It's a phenomenon.
And Engineer, your party has no history of having any party elections. Are you going to be able to do this in one day?
We are seriously prepared. We have got everything ready at the moment. Even if we are told to do it tomorrow, we will do it tomorrow. And it is good that we choose that day of 14th April, which will be a holy Thursday for us Catholics. I tend to believe we are not going to inconvenience the Catholics. They will bear with us because this is a monumental process. It comes once in 5 years. Yeah.
Madam Chair, you also, ODM has never held party elections, party nominations. Not always endorsements.
That's not true.
It's always been endorsements.
That is not true. The party that actually goes to elections is ODM. Others dish out tickets. But our party primaries have not always gone well. And we admit that they have not always gone well. And so we reviewed our rules, and we have put all the methods on board. We will try and arrive at a candidate through consensus. We may have single candidates where we can give direct tickets. We will develop and nurture the method of using delegates to vote. We will also use universal suffrage, but this time only using the registered ODM members. Yeah.
If someone was to ask you, an ordinary member of ODM, right?
Yeah.
What power do they have, or what say do they have in the running of the party? An ordinary member.
Well, they have a say, particularly during the nominations. They can actually participate by influencing through the party primaries. They can even, party primaries by all methods include wananchi. Whether you are using opinion polls, those opinion polls, they poll the wananchi. So that's a way of voting. Whether it's about the party delegates choosing to elect, again, it is representatives of the rest of the party membership that are making a decision. So they always have a chance to participate, but mostly during the party primaries. Yeah. As a party, we are revamping to actually involve members in more activities. We are, I believe, the only party with the strongest structure, better than provincial administration. At every polling center, ODM has 77 officials. Every polling center. And so when you operationalize that and they get to discuss, it is a powerful structure. We haven't always used it as we ought to use it. And in my view, in future, those kind of committees should be able to sit and demand, for instance, better development from the elected leaders, be able to talk about the local situation in terms of development, and be able to channel that to the party leadership and to demand on how to influence manifestos, how to influence our development agenda. So we have a very elaborate structure which you can find out from the Registrar of Political Parties, that there's none other than other structure like that in ODM.
Engineer, would you say the same thing in UDA? Does the ordinary member of UDA, do they have any say?
Let me start by saying that our party is slightly more than 1 year old. Fortunately, it is the biggest party in terms of numbers at the moment. We have got more than 8 million party members. And our party members are seriously involved. When this board was formed, I personally, with my board members, the 7 of them, we went around the country in 40 counties. We managed 40 counties, seeking views from our members, how they want us to conduct these elections, which model do they want us to use, and how we can carry the most transparent and fair elections ever to happen in this country. And we agreed with all our members. We have got even minutes for all those meetings, the 40 meetings we made. And today, Jeff, in that 4 counties where we are holding elections, our ROs, county returning officers, were there having, talking to our aspirants all over the 4 counties, agreeing on how they are going to carry out those nominations on 14th, the best method, talking to the aspirants to see and to agree on the way of choosing the constituency returning officers, the POs, and the clerks. And all our meetings were peaceful. Our party does not condone violence. And Jeff, it is a little bit unfortunate that whatever happened to the young fella from Kisii, Thomas, and our aspirant of Mvita, Ali. It is very unfortunate. I never knew that people can be so power-hungry, malicious. It is as if the world is going to come to an end today. And I've realized that people love power. But Jeff, vanity to vanity, all things are useless.
Absolutely. Engineer, you're absolutely right.
After 9th August, Catherine here will be my neighbor. She will be my friend. Why fight for nothing? Whoever is going to win is the person who is going to represent our people, either in the parliament, in presidency, or in any other position. So I would like to tell our members that anybody on that 14th who will be found capable of organizing violence, we will be disqualified there and then. We are not even going to wait for the end of the day. We will disqualify that member, especially on women and PWDs. We are very serious about it, Jeff. And they are not ways. And anybody who tries to influence our elections, we will find it rough. I can tell you for sure, and I can give you my personal experience when I was appointed, people came with sacks of money to come and try to influence me. But we want a credible process. Some of us are so passionate about our party, and we want the best to happen to our party.
Yeah.
We want to form a credible government.
Okay, Madam Chair, how do you explain to us what direct ticket means, or direct nom? What does that mean? And how do you arrive at that conclusion?
Direct ticket is a language that has been used in the new law, the Political Parties Act. In that law, it is defined as the voting by the ordinary members. I believe ordinary members of a political party. In our law, in our rules, we actually have the 4 methods. For us, direct ticketing means giving a ticket directly. The party decides we want to give Jeff Koinange to represent us in Langata, and we give you the ticket directly. That means you have, we have not taken you through a method, through delegates voting. We have not taken you through consensus with others. We have decided. We think you're the best.
Yeah, but how do you come to that conclusion?
Through various parameters. For us, we do it scientifically, and we are using opinion polls. Opinion polls are used for various things in this country, and opinion polls are one way of finding out whether these candidates who tell you that they are popular are actually popular. You know, every candidate, including the one who has 0.3%, will tell you they are the ones winning. Ground iko na mimi. And when they speak to you, you are persuaded that they are the ones. So if you are to just interview and not use another scientific method, most likely you'll end up with the best orator and not the most popular person. And as a political party, we are in the business of winning the seats. So we have to use all the methods to know that the candidate we're fielding for this seat is a candidate who stands a good chance to deliver the seat. So we will look at the rating. We will also look at other things in terms of whether the person qualifies in regard to the qualifications provided for in law. Yes, yeah.
But Madam Chair, you talk about opinion polls or scientific polls.
Yeah.
Who's doing the science?
Well, we have firms that do opinion polling, not just for elections, but for many other, not just for political elections, but for other issues as well. And they actually do a proper sampling to find out how many people, how many registered members, voters are in that particular constituency, how many people, what is a good sample to determine whether somebody is popular or not, how do you distribute that sample across that constituency, and how do you distribute it by even gender, and how do you decide, and then you ask particular questions that enable you to know whether your candidates are actually visible on the ground or alive on the ground or not. And those have usually made sense. The only thing is that when opinion polls are good for Catherine, then they're credible. But when they're bad for Catherine, then they're fake.
Engineer, how does UDA determine direct ticketing?
In our party, it is very hard. And we are not giving out direct tickets unless you are not opposed. Unless you are not opposed. Allowed 110 members of parliament are not opposed. We are not opposed at all. But wherever there is more than one candidate, we are going for nominations. We tend to believe as a party that the person who is going to give us that flag bearer of the 9th August election is Wajiko, nobody else. We cannot sit in the boardroom and decide that this one is more popular than the other. And we are seriously trying to discourage that. Unless now the aspirants themselves sit together, agrees together, then they come to my office and we sign an agreement. We are not going out looking for our aspirants to talk, to agree. They have to sit down themselves, they agree themselves, then they come and tell us that we have agreed, either through our office or maybe our party leader. Unless they do that, as long as there is more than one aspirant, nomination is a must.
Yeah. Engineer, let me ask you this. You're part of an alliance, obviously, right? Kenya Kwanza.
Yes.
How will party nominations look like with all these parties? How will it look like?
I'm the chairman of National Election Board of UDA Party, and I'm carrying nominations of UDA Party in every part of this country.
So you're not talking for the alliance?
Even in Bugoma, even in Kakamega on 14th, we are having those nominations. That is my direction. And when it comes to those alliances, those are for the party leaders. But on my part, as long as there's more than one aspirant in each and every position, I'll carry party nominations on that particular day of 14th.
Madam Chair, how do you explain what about Azimio La Umoja, One Kenya Party now? What will nominations look like? What would party nominations look like? It's such a huge alliance.
It is a coalition of parties. So first, the parties are allowed to do their thing. So ODM, I'm carrying out elections as chair of ODM. Jubilee is doing their nominations in accordance with their rules. NAC Kenya, whoever is doing in accordance with their rules. But we are also looking at the landscape. If you are in constituency X and constituency X has the lead candidate, and that's why we do scientific polling. We just don't rate ODM candidates. We rate all candidates, including UDA, to find out how are we faring in this particular constituency. Strategically, as Azimio, we may want to find out, is there opportunity for us to negotiate so that if the Jubilee candidate has a better chance in this particular constituency, given the different parameters that guide elections in Kenya, you will agree with me, if you go to Central, particular parties are likely to get more than others. If you go to Rift Valley, it's the same thing. And I think it will be foolhardy to just move blindly without taking that into account. So we are looking at that. So we will nominate as parties, individual parties. We will also look at each other and determine where we want to cede space for each other. We will look at opportunities where we can actually run the different candidates from the Azimio parties, having assessed that will be healthy for us to do.
You know, it leads me to my next question, which is intra-coalition competition. And there's going to be a lot of that. For example, look at Nairobi. ODM has said its candidate will be Wanyonyi.
Yes.
Jubilee has said its candidate will be Ngatia.
Yes.
So there's going to obviously be intra-coalition competition. How do you work that out? How do you work out those kinks?
Well, we are working the ground. I'm sure Jubilee is getting its candidate to work the ground. We are getting our candidate to work the ground. And we will be able to determine between these two candidates who's likely to carry the day. Because in the end, it's the numbers that will determine whether it's Wanyonyi or Ngatia. And both Jubilee and ODM have to appreciate that we need the candidate that is most likely to deliver that ticket. And we have to, at some point, come to an agreement on how best to give that ticket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Engineer, and how do you explain your part? I mean, let's say Sakaja will be what, with ANC? We're still in Nairobi here. And then Bishop Margaret Wanjiru, UDA. How do you work out? There'll be some premium tiers, as we said the other day with Madam Chair. There'll be some premium tiers.
I won't say that Sakaja is in ANC. But that one is for another day.
Okay.
But each and every political party...
Okay, where is he? Is he still in Jubilee?
Don't mind Jeff. But each and every political party is there to grab power and to get power at the end of the day. So you have to look at all avenues, study each and every case properly, see which are our strongholds, agree together that this is the right candidate. But before even agreeing, we have to produce our candidate. And our candidate, we are going to produce our candidate as UDA through nominations. Then, if you find that the ANC candidate there is a little bit stronger than us, because we want to have majority, then you let it go. But more so, just remember there is now the money the political parties are usually given. We have to make sure that our political party have got a majority in terms of numbers. And because it is the most popular, it remains strong. And we give each and every aspirant an opportunity to go for the elections.
All right, folks, I want to take a quick break, come back and talk about zoning. What is this zoning we're hearing about? Obviously, there's a lot of controversy around that. And also, there's a new statement by a caucus calling itself Mwanzo Mpya. There's a lot behind the scenes that's happening. Let's talk about that when we come back. We've got both chairs of national elections boards, both ODM and UDA, live here on JKLive. And I know you have many questions for both Catherine Mukma and engineer Anthony Maura. Have your questions right here at Koinange Jeff at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag is JKLive. JKLive takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.